Good evening and welcome to Melrose Synthetic. It's almost evening anyway. It's 6 minutes past 5. We're ready for a 5:15 kickoff. It's the men's charity shield for sockets and sarcoma. League champions against the cup holders. Gungahlin United versus O'Connor Knights. My name's Russ Gibbs. Ian Worthington is with me for this one as he was for the last one. We just saw the cup holders get over the league champions by 3-0 in the women's. What's the chances of it repeating in the men's?
That's a really good question, isn't it? It's a first look at two new squads for a start, so there's going to be new players playing for both teams. But yeah, just credit to Belconnen United women's team who we've just watched beforehand, and some excellent performances. We've just been speaking to some of the girls, haven't we, after the game, and they're delighted with the win, but also of how they played.
It's been a choppy off-season for Gungahlin United, the league champions. They've lost some players. Haven't replaced an awful lot. They're relying very much on some of their youngsters to fill bench places today. They do tell me, though, that they have got some irons in the fire about potential overseas signings, so we will wait and see if it bolsters the squad that they've got. They've lost a couple to tonight's opponents. Centre midfielder Nick Dahl and Christian Junner, the right back, have gone across to O'Connor Knights, as has Buddy Abbas, who's unavailable today. There's plenty of options that aren't here for O'Connor Knights. There's plenty that are. It's a great lineup. We'll look at them in a moment. But pre-season and the Charity Shield, well, these teams have met 9 times in the NPL era. Gunners have won 4, the Knights 3, and there's been 2 draws. Doesn't mean an awful lot. We talked before the women's about how important momentum might be and how important this might be psychologically. Same things apply, especially when you consider that these two are on a tete-a-tete in the Australia Cup round 4. Very shortly indeed, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's going to be a huge game, considering how good O'Connor Knights were in getting to the last 32 of the FA Cup last year in that game at the GIO Stadium, and
the semi-final, which was a little bit feisty, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was, when there was flags being thrown and red cards and all sorts going on at Gungahlin and Close. So there's that as well. Both have quality players, don't they? Let's be honest. They both have quality players, quality teams. And, well, we'll see what happens this evening, but I expect it to be a tight affair.
A couple of players that I want to keep an eye on. One of them that we weren't expecting to see on this team sheet today, but is Max Green for Gungahlin United. 32 goals in 47 NPL appearances for Gungahlin United before moving to Sutherland Sharks, and Belconnen, I should say, as well. Before moving to Sutherland Sharks, had a year in the New South Wales NPL, back in Canberra, back in black and white. How much of a bonus is that for Gungahlin?
Well, going back to the season before last when he scored all those goals, I thought he was class, to be honest with you. And I wasn't surprised to see him go and get his chance up in Sydney. But I am surprised that he's back, actually. And, didn't expect to see him today. And we got the team sheets before, and he's playing. And, that's a great signing if Gungahlin have pulled that off.
He replaces Lukman Ahmed Shaibu, the Golden Boot winner, who left mid-season to go to Indonesia, who's also back, but will be signing for O'Connor Knights, I understand. His ITC is waiting to clear. Another weapon of a centre-forward for the Knights to bring into their team, alongside 2 that they've also signed this year, in Jenna Taruti from Monero Panthers and Michael John.
Yeah, an experienced striker in Michael John, a younger striker in Jenna Taruti, and a class striker in Lukman Ahmed Shabu, who, he's come back and he's signing for O'Connor. So, I expect there was probably a few people trying to get his signature for the start of the 2025 season.
This is just a list of some of the players who aren't available for the O'Connor Knights today or have been left out for one reason or another. Buddy Abbas, Harrison Palic, Harry Martin, Lukman Ahmed Shaibu, Jack Marjoribanks, a new signing from Brindabella Blues, Sam Van Doren and Nika Perinovic. They're not playing. And that's not considering the 16 we've got on the sheet already.
Yeah, they've pretty much got 2 teams that they can put out, haven't they, at the moment? And I know we get injuries, suspensions and things, but they've really started to get that strength in depth.
Gungahlin United, well, their bench has got a lot of young talent on it. A couple of weeks ago, they played a pre-season friendly against O'Connor Knights. Ian, they put their against Canberra, Croatia. They put their 23s out in the first half against Croatia, and they were 2-1 up at the break. Their first-grade players replaced them at half-time, and they lost 4-2. So it's a bit of a surprise. Speaking of which, This is a man we were just talking about, funnily enough, and he's just right there. Look, Ahmed Shaibu, welcome back, my friend.
He's come back. He's got his hair done, especially for the occasion, to come and say
just waiting for his
hello.
ITC to clear, and he'd be back on the field scoring goals. Yeah, he says hopefully very soon. Well, it's ironic. He's right here, great character. Actually showed me how to eat a chicken wing properly once. Funny enough, Lukman Ahmed Tribe. Apparently there's a way, we do it wrong in Australia. There's a way that Americans do it, and it just comes off the bone fully. It's incredible.
Yeah,
I have to give show you one day. Anyway.
Oh, I am a chicken wing connoisseur.
Well, there you go, mate. You will love that.
It's my favourite food. So
he'll be able
more
to tell
than
you.
happy to have a chicken wing or two with Lukman. So, yeah, let's make that can be his celebration.
Oh, well.
He can build some of chicken wing celebration when he scores, and I'm sure he will be scoring goals this season.
I was just mentioning that they put the first team back on against Canberra Croatia, and they lost 4-2. They went down 4-2. So make of that what you will, which is probably not a lot.
Not much in pre-season, to be honest with you, now.
No, not in the slightest. But we will see what happens. It's going to be an interesting fixture, this one, nonetheless. They met 4 times last year. The aforementioned Cup semi-final when Ahmed Shaibu was on target for Gunners with a penalty. Knights 0-1, 3-1. Michael Adams 2-1 from the penalty spot. And Isosra Hegi. In the round 6 fixture, it was 0-0. Round 12, while Gungahlin put the sword through the Knights by 4-2. Augustin Bangira, Jeremy Hampton, Shandon Whitehead and Mikey Katsoulis. Lachlan Fields and a Jack Green own goal for the O'Connor Knights. And in round 20, Gungahlin won by 3-2. Hampton penalty, Christian Junner and Jack Green. Let's have a look at the lineups then, starting with Gungahlin United, resplendent in this white jersey they've got out there. Aidan Mumford is in goal. They've got 4 across the back: Nikita Burns, Julian Smith, Jack Green and new signing Bailey Dickinson. Josh Gaspar and Riley Brown were expecting to patrol in front of that back 4. Sam Thompson likely to be in the number 10 role. Augustin Bangira one side, Jaden Rippon the other, Max Green down the middle. The bench, as I said, replete with young talent: Isaac Alves, Dennis Ayo, Charlie Daddario, Elia Darwich and Jacob Kite. What do you reckon of this kit?
Well, it's a bit Real Madrid, isn't it? Oh. Quite like it.
Some team, though, they've got out there, Gungahlin. We will see how they cope. O'Connor Knights, well, this is their first lineup of the season. Christian Nell in goal, the new goalkeeper. Christian Junner makes a debut at right back. James Lavella makes a debut at centre back alongside Connor Bill. James Driscoll at left back. Nick Dahl, the holding midfielder. Vinny Sanchez and Michael Adams in front of them. Then the front 3 sees Nico Kresic on the right, Fakedi Manda on the left, and Geno Chiruti down the middle. The substitutes: Samuel Palic, Kobe Yari, Isosara Hegi, Michael John, and Marcus Smith.
Yeah, so the starting 11s are strong, aren't they? But then you look at the bench for both teams, and there's some real strength to come off the bench there as well. And looking forward to this one.
The referee is Bruno Kell, Josh Iser and Harrison Cranknell with him. We're going to have a minute's silence in memory of Cam Shelton, which is why we're here today, raising money for Soccer Sarcoma. We'll wait for Bruno Kell to blow his whistle, and we'll remember Cam Shelton and what he gave to the football community here in Canberra. Cameron Shelton always in the minds of the football community in Canberra. You might have noticed in the warm-up there, Ian, the breeze has picked up a bit. You can see it fluttering those white shirts of Gungahlin United. Thankfully, the sun's gone behind the clouds. The temperature has dropped a bit. Perfect conditions for a game of football.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, the breeze is up a little bit. Just makes it a little bit cooler to play in, really. I don't think it's going to play a massive part of the game. And they prefer playing at this time than they would have done with the games earlier this afternoon.
How good is it to see Jack Green out there with his kids, just ushering them off the field, send them towards mum?
Cute, yeah. I think Mum's just opened the gate to our right, and they're like, "Yeah, we're done. Come through." But lovely thing, yeah, lovely thing to do as captain of the club.
Two proper gentlemen as skippers today, isn't there? And Jack Green and Michael Adams, great personalities on the football field here, and brilliant ambassadors for their football clubs.
Yeah, they are top-class players as well. The pair of them. I've admired Jack since my time here, and then more recently, Michael is consistently 8, 9 out of 10 every week, isn't he?
O'Connell Knights, well, they will feel they've got enough to challenge this year. Last year they finished third in the league table. They will feel they can go better. Outside of that game that ended goalless that we talked about briefly pre-season, there was a goal in the first 20 minutes of each of the other 3 fixtures that they played last year. So do not be surprised if there is an early goal in this one.
Well, I think you'll find that both teams are going to come out at each other, aren't they? And attack-minded sides like to get on the front foot, play good football. It's it'll be a decent game, won't it, this?
Well, we hope so. Charity Shields generally are. The team that scores first always wins the Shield. This has been the case for all 8 matches that have been played so far. Charity Shield has averaged 5.5 goals per game, 44 goals in the Charity Shield over the course of the years. Not expecting this to be any different. Expecting goals. Expecting a good quality match. As per usual, though, it's 18 minutes past 5. We have a real problem kicking off on time, don't we?
We need to not make comment about it be kicking off late. We just need to be dead surprised the game that does kick off on time.
One time I did a game last year, it kicked off early, believe it or not.
No way.
James Lavella for the O'Connell Knights, the Men in Black. Pre-season kit watch. Ian, what do you reckon?
Yeah, impressed. Gunner's gone away from the stripes, so I'm just wondering whether it's like a training top.
Well, they can't wear the stripes
numbers
against this black team, can they? Against these black shirts.
Well, they're not just going to go with a shirt that's just white, are they, all season? I reckon this is a pre-season match top, and they're waiting for their match tops to arrive all badged and numbered up.
I don't mind them wearing this. This is nice. Anyway,
nice.
Connor Bill's ball forward. First chase for Keddy Mander. Touch for Aidan Mumford. The goalkeeper, ever present last year, all 22 matches. Finds Jack Green. Loves these kind of positions, Jack Green. Often finds a pass. The skipper with an incredible goal-scoring rate. We'll mention it throughout the course of the year. 34 goals he scored from centre-back. He's played 195 MPL games. He's going to, barring injury, hit that milestone 200 this year. It's an incredible servant to this football club. Augustin Bangura has come off the front line to collect. Here's Julian Smith. Big, tall, lanky centre-back. Scored his first goal for the club at the AAS last year. Riley Brown from deep finds Green. Just Gaspari to turn and slide it towards Thompson. And there goes Christian Nell, signed from the Tigers.
Yeah, he's used to this ground. He had a full season at West Canberra Wanderers playing in that goal. So, yeah, familiar with the field.
Christian Junner. Riley Brown has it back. Julian Smith. Here's Green. Nikita Burns has gone down that left flank, and Bailey Dickinson's done likewise on this right flank to try and stretch this field. Thompson in at 10. Very tricky customer, Sam Thompson. Would love to make a proper breakthrough this year. He only played 1 appearance off the bench last year in first grades. He's only made 2 in his career, and he's got a lot of talent. Driscoll
He'll certainly be wanting to stake a claim in this evening's game, won't he? He's got his start. Now it's about trying to keep his place.
One of several that are. Jaden Rippon will be another. Playing in the number 14 shirt in front of us here. He was formerly of this parish as well, West Canberra Wanderers footballer. Smith. Max Green. The Conor Knights will be wary of his threats.
Well, as we said before kick-off, he's a great little addition back in for them.
9 matches between the two in NPL history. 41 goals scored. Knights 22, Gunners 19. Suffice to say, they generally put on a show, these two. In 6 of the 8 Charity Shield matches we've had, both teams have scored. The Outliers are Wagga in 21 against Canberra Croatia, and Croatia last year against the Knights. So generally, both teams score. Generally, the team that scores first wins. Obviously, we mentioned at the beginning, if this match ends in a draw, we'll go to a penalty shootout. That's never happened in Charity Shield history. So a little bit of the past for you to ponder. Adams has come for Cerruti. Jack Green got a toe on it. There's Christian Junner. Green again. James Lavella, former Monero Panther. One of a number of new signings. Connor Bill here in possession. Well, he was going to go to Melbourne, to Northcote City, I believe, but for one reason or another, that didn't work out for him, and he's back here. I know Conor Knights are super well glad he is, aren't they?
Again, solid, consistent, good, steady player who did extremely well last season and in particular the season before.
Cerruti nicely moved. Green again, well placed. Nick Dahl patrols that area in front of the fort, picks up the loose pieces. Did it in Gunners' colours last year. For Kenny Mander, bag of tricks, scored that wonderful header in the Australia Cup round of 32 against MacArthur at GIO Stadium. He'll never forget that, will he?
No, that'll live long in the memory with him. That a very special occasion. He put 1-0 up, didn't it?
Did indeed, against a team that went on to win the Australia Cup. So what I'm suggesting is if they'd held on, they'd have won the Australia Cup there, the Conor Knights.
That's what you're suggesting.
Clearly. Driscoll. Vinny Sanchez was there, and he's going to get on the end of this perhaps, but just spins away. And Bailey Dickinson happy to see it out.
James Driscoll sporting a headband in today's game, growing his hair a bit.
Shirt untucked, socks around the ankles. Sanchez with Gaspari. Here is Driscoll. Will he get there ahead of Bangura? He does after a fashion. He's managed to force it out there, but that's some challenge from Nikita Burns. You'd appreciate that. Left back sliding into him.
Yeah, he's played a few appearances for Gungahlins first grade last year, didn't he, Nikita? When he came back from being over in Europe, he played over there for a little bit and come back, and you can actually see how much he's learned and how much he kicked on from his stay overseas, and he's trying to put that back in Canberra now. Started 5 games last year off the bench for another couple on his return. No real pace to the game at the moment, and Knights happy for Gungahlin to play it around here at the back. Julian Smith, big season for him as well, to try and stake a claim alongside Jack Green. I've seen some of the others that might have been in that position make a move away. Yeah, he's stayed, hasn't he? He looks like he wants to be playing next to Jack Green this season, and happy to do so. You won't find too many taller centre-back pairings in that pair. Thompson down here for Rippon. Saw Jaden Rippon score a scorcher at that end, playing in the colours of West Canberra Wanderers a couple of seasons ago. Dickinson, was he brought down by Manda? Bruno Kell says yes. First real set piece of note, and a chance perhaps for the Twin Towers to get forward if they want to. Both of them have stayed put at the moment. As yet, they've not. Yeah, and we're playing. They've gone short. Rippon. It's an opportunity that to get it into the mixer, so to speak. They've decided against it. Jack Green. Smith. Angle ball looking for Burns. Always difficult on this surface if you let it bounce.
Crowd's still pretty big, isn't it? Quite a few on the far side now. The weather's got a bit better.
Yeah, people have moved over and round. It was the rain that brought them back over this side. It was pretty packed, wasn't it, with the women's game before? But, well supported O'Connor Knights.
A lot of Knights jumpers around, a lot of youngsters wearing Knights zip-up jackets. I think Gungahlins and some more Knights are over in the stand on the far side opposite us. A few youngsters. Cheruti, Rob Smith, Dahl, Sanchez. Room out this side if they can squeeze it past Dickinson, who sticks a leg out and sets Rippon going the other way. Bill across. Connor Bill, of course, another former West Canberra Wanderers player.
Yeah, another player who would have played plenty of time on this pitch.
Aidan Mumford's, Jack Green, Gaspari. Offside on that far side. Nikita Burns just strayed a little too far. Early stages, of course, sizing each other up. 10 minutes gone.
And I think it is that, isn't it? Season doesn't start for a couple of weeks, although this is a competitive fixture, and just weighing each other up and seeing where they're at with their own fitness levels and physical levels.
Nell sends it a mile. Smith towers above. Michael Fakedi Manda absolutely beat him in the air, and Rippon's quick across the ground, isn't he?
He is. It's sort of held up in between then, and Connor Bill had to try and get there and just couldn't come quite far enough.
James Driscoll looking for Manda. Again, Smith. He's not going to get much change out of Julian Smith in the air.
No, not when they're throwing the ball around his head like that. You'd fancy Julian Smith most of the time.
Got a bit short this time. Driscoll to Sanchez. Smith beats Manda on the ground and finds Thompson. Neat and tidy, that from Thompson. Burns. Happy to go back to Mumford. Clips it forward. Bailey Dickinson. Gaspari. Smith to send it over the head of Green. Comes for Thompson from Bill. And there's Max Green down the middle. Important touch from Lavella. Good pace to it.
It's a little bit frantic, isn't it? No one's certainly got a hold on the game yet, which is not surprising. Like I said, both teams weighing each other up and getting a feel for the ball themselves, seeing who can get around the pitch.
Lavella. Junna. The run forward from Nico Kresic. Jack Green win across. Kresic appreciated the ball though. Plenty of pace as Nico Kresic. Very direct runner. Well, in 5 of the 8 Charity Shield matches, there had been a goal scored inside the opening 5 minutes of the game. That's out the window, isn't it?
Well, that ain't happening today.
Haven't really had a chance of note either. Maybe that will change now. 12 minutes in with Rippon. Wants to have a go. Bends it, and it spat off the surface. And Nell was slow down to it. Maybe caution from the goalkeeper.
I thought that was going to be a bit easier than it was made to be in the end. I know it bounced on the surface just before it got to Christian Nell.
Maybe he saw it a bit late. We had a good angle of Rippon's body. The fact that he was going to open up and place it there, maybe Christian Nell's view was obscured.
Maybe, yeah, like I say, we had a good view of that. You could see the angle where he was going to put it very early.
Brown. Gungahlin just pinning O'Connor back momentarily. Burns. Brown. Green. Smith has acres of space in which to work. Dickinson, no press at all from the Knights. Happy to defend en masse and in a block. Green again. Short ball for Bangura. And he's going to get a free kick. Might have been brought down by Bruno Kell. Was brought down by Nick Dahl.
That was the hardest part of that move, running past Bruno Kell. He yellow card himself.
Well, he just teed up Nick Dahl for the foul.
Yeah, he did. He pushed him in that direction.
Here's a free kick within striking range. First real chance of note, perhaps. Josh Gaspari, set-piece experts. Everyone else has been shooed away. 4 in the wall.
Yeah.
Might become 5.
And I doubt Bailey Dickinson's going to take it off him. So, yeah, I think he's going to whip this across the wall, Christian Nell's right shoulder.
Jaden Rippon's got acres of room to his right there, hasn't he, if he wants to slide it in. But I think Gaspari is going to have a pop here. Gaspari for Gungahlin into the wall. Shape was nice, not enough height. For a strike of note, though, Jack Green, Julian Smith. Smith again. Great turn, Bailey Dickinson. Gaspari bounced away from him. Lavella's got it off his toe.
Good covering from James Lavella.
Now, I would call you an old school football fan. Correct?
Would you?
I would.
Depends what you're going to suggest next.
Well, I'm going to suggest that what do you make of the centre-back pairing of Jack Green and Julian Smith's boots? Bright red for Jack Green, bright green for Julian Smith. Are they centre-back boots?
It's a sad state of the world that we live in.
Meanwhile, Bailey Dickinson, a right back.
Great boots.
Black pair of boots. Nikita
Great
Burns
boots.
over on the far side.
Yeah.
Yeah, orangey pink.
No.
Bailey Dickinson, proper defender, eh?
What's James Lavella in? Is he in black boots? I think so.
Max Green to turn and send it over. Yeah, James Lavella's wearing black boots at the back there.
Very good.
It's important to note these things in pre-season because I saw a wonderful pair of boots, Charles Bobb, that came on for Brindabella, for Yarraby rather, in the cup on Wednesday night. He had an incredible pair of boots, custom made apparently.
So you're telling me Yarraby have got a player who has custom-made boots? What on earth are they?
I'm showing them to Ian now. They're purple and gold with a purple Nike swish, blue laces, pure gold-based boots.
Yeah. Can he play?
I mean, he was there.
Yeah.
No, he was. He looked. He came off the bench, and the floodlights were glinting off his boots, and he was loving life. I mean, and loved his boots. It was great.
Did they win?
No, they didn't. They lost 6-0.
No, did he score?
They lost 6-0.
Yeah.
So no.
No, so.
But
I'm sure his boots look good though. Yeah.
Incredible boots.
Yeah. Incredible. That's one word. What's he going to do after his 6-0 cup exit?
Do you know what? He's going to go back to State League 4 when he plays, and he's going to score a ton of goals in those boots.
In those?
Not a doubt about it. Free kick's gone against O'Connor Knights here, much to the collective groan of those wearing Knights colours around us. I'm going to put those boots up on my Facebook page later on so everyone can see what we're talking about.
I think he should put them up for sale.
You're just jealous because you haven't got a pair.
I think they're awful.
Make sure you make that note out on the weekend. Poor old Charles Bobb. I actually called him Oscar Bob at one stage. Manchester City's Norwegian international.
He is a player, Oscar Bob. He's all right.
Charles Bob
I bet Oscar Bob doesn't have.
He might not have boots like that. I don't know. Maybe he needs to get boots like that. Josh Gaspari, free kick out on the far side. Nice angle this to hit the two tall players that have come up from the back, Green and Smith. Gaspari to dink it in towards Smith, who was beaten by Lavella. Might come here for Rippon, but it's off the back of Driscoll at the expense of a corner kick, and that will mean the tall timber will stay forward. Josh Gaspari will be tasked to find them. Max Green will no doubt sniff in and around for any bits and bobs. Gaspari tasked with the set-piece delivery again, as is his wont. Flatter delivery met by Driscoll at the near post, and Kresic, well, he's all on his lonesome. Brown's won it back. Jack Green's lifted it in. Max Green's got there and scored for Gungahlin. Leapt highest amongst the crowd, and Max Green is back in Gungahlin colours and scoring again. And Gungahlin hit the front.
Well, Christian Nell's just come for a ball that I don't think it's his, really. He should have stayed put, and Max Green, the leap was fantastic, wasn't it? It gets in the air, flicks it on, brave. Maybe he expects the punch to come through, and it didn't. And, yeah, heads it into the bottom right-hand corner.
Max Green doing what Max Green does in Gungahlin colours. Had no real right to win that ball, but did. And found a way to put his team ahead. They were knocking on the door. They weren't exactly blowing it down, were they? But you give Josh Gaspari chances to deliver, and then Jack Green's ball in was beautiful. And Max Green rose high. Prodigious leap to get there.
Well, there's no surprises any of that you've said either. Just the quality of all three of those players, and you know that will make them a threat in the league season.
Here's Cerruti for the Knights. The league champions lead. Junna finds Dahl. That will please Javier Roca, no doubt. Driscoll beaten to it by Gaspari. Manda for Dahl. And again, Driscoll tries to find Manda for a third time. Physical challenge by Junna on Bangura. Likes a challenge, does Christian Junna, doesn't he?
He does indeed. It was part of his role, though.
Played in that infamous Cup semi-final last year. Got himself sent off, didn't he, for a second yellow card. For throwing a linesman's flag.
Chucking a javelin down there. Gungahlin enclosed. Of course, playing for Gungahlin then.
On what was a bizarre old evening out there.
It'd been called off once, hadn't it, already? We had to go back for that game.
And then it got moved across to the far pitch. There was 3 penalties, if memory serves right. 2 scored, 1 missed. 3 red cards. It was some evening. We've got to do it all again in the Cup. A little bit earlier in the competition this time. Thompson.
Yeah, that's some draw in the early stages.
Bangura. Had a really good season last year, Bangura. It's going to come out for Gaspari. Max Green put the pressure on, and Green on the turn. Just flashes past the post.
Yeah, but what's most encouraging for Gungahlin is Max Green just finds those pockets of space, and when he finds them and he's got time, he usually gets his shot away.
Proper striker's goal, that header from Max Green. Gaspari, that's a great ball too, and he's found Max Green. 2 in the penalty area. Green to taunt Lavella. Both Rippon and Thompson went near post. The ball went far. Connor Bill. Knights uncharacteristically struggling defensively here at the moment. Driscoll steps in. We want a free kick for a foul on Cerruti. No Lachlan Fields of calls this year. I mean, that's a massive loss to them, isn't it? One of the best central defenders we've had in this competition, not just over the last few years, but perhaps of all time.
He's top player. Top player, his decision-making, his duel winning, aerially decent, good on the ball, playing forward. Yeah, top player that they will miss not having him this season.
And the way he brought it out of defence as well, always created space because he'd take 1 or 2 out with him, wouldn't they?
He could drive into midfield with the ball comfortably, couldn't he? Be happy to do that.
Bangura, nice angle run by Max Green. Lavella goes with him. Green for Gaspari. 1 more for Thompson. Sat up for a moment for Thompson. Dickinson. Benny Dickinson just returned to the club, having left Tigers. Smith intercepted by Driscoll. Adams. Haven't seen too much of Michael Adams on the ball yet. I know Connor play their best football. It's no secret when Michael Adams gets a lot of touches. Sanchez finds Junna. Chance for the fullback to range forward. He's got Kresic outside him. 3 in the middle. Smith stepped in nicely. dealt with those really easily so far. Delivery's not been of the required quality.
Well, they're just a little bit deeper, so when the ball comes into them, they've got about 10 metres of space to play in.
Augustin Bangira stayed down after that challenge. Jenna Cerruti's played on, and, well, he went close with it. Had Mumford at full stretch. Gungahlin not happy. Mumford's not happy because Bangira was left in a heap. Bruno Kelso, nothing wrong with it.
Well, they're saying that they stopped, and that's what allowed Cerruti to get his shot off, which he took really, really well.
Must have taken a nick.
Doesn't seem that he went far, and like you say, took a deflection on the way across because he's given a corner.
Well, he has, and they've gone early with it. Not sure they were going to get away with that.
No, I don't know whether it should be on this side as well, to be honest.
Well, it would be.
It should be on the near side. If it's a deflection, it's gone. And all the players are pointing in that direction.
Well, I'm not even sure where it got the deflection, but never mind. Zayden Mumford claiming a save.
No, he wasn't near that, that's for sure. It got a deflection on the way through.
On the way through off the toe.
Yeah.
Kresic near post. Burns struggling to get rid of it. Does at the second attempt. Connor Bill. Well, he shanked that badly. Yeah, I think I was being a little facetious to suggest that Mumford might have got across to it. Nowhere near it, was he?
Nowhere near it.
But not bad response. We're going to have a little bit of a break now for drinks break. Ian, as we hit the 24-minute mark of the half.
Yeah, it's not as red hot as it was earlier today, but, you know, to be playing out there playing and it's still warm.
Gives me a chance to mention Steve Forshall's message he just sent to me. He said Jack Green to Max Green the day before St. Patrick's Day. Bit of green there. There you go.
All right, thanks, Steve.
It's all right.
When is it? So it's St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, is it?
I don't know. I'm not Irish, mate.
I was going to say I don't celebrate.
Wouldn't have a clue. Didn't know that the team in green ran in the NRL last night. Canberra Raiders.
I watched a bit of that.
They beat the Brisbane Broncos.
Yeah, it was quite good.
I watched a bit of it as well before I went to watch Sky Fire. Fireworks Festival in Canberra.
Yeah.
Take it you didn't.
I watched West Sydney Wanderers and whoever they played instead.
Field Fire.
And I stayed up to watch Bolton lose at home to Stockport.
Well, that was silly of you.
Yeah. Got better today, though. The day's been full of enjoyable football.
I take it you won this morning then, did you?
Yes, they did. Yes, they won.
Ian Worthington, Technical Director of Tigers Youth Section.
Yeah, boys are doing well. Very enjoyable.
NPL boys competition underway. Week 2. Not for Canberra Croatia and Canberra Olympic under 18s, though they both played this morning in the Charity Shield. Canberra Croatia winning 9-8 on an epic penalty shootout. All 11 outfield players had to take one, 22 taken in total in the end. Cameron Young scored the winning goal from Canberra Croatia goalkeeper. Arlo Rose, I think it was. He was the 4 guy, unfortunately, for Canberra Olympic. As always has to be one, doesn't there?
Yeah.
He wasn't the only one that missed out of 22 penalties when it was 9-8. I mean, your maths have figured that out, 11 each.
I wouldn't have a clue. I'm so bad at maths.
I think there was 5 missed or something along those lines.
But there's also some decent penalties, some decent ability in both teams as well. And it's going to be that under-18s competition has got some very, very good young players coming through.
Back and away then, Smith to pop it up towards Max Green, who does win the header, but no one had gambled. At the moment, Connor Bill and James Lavella struggling to cope with the movement of Max Green. Bit of ball for the Knights, though. Maybe trying to calm things down. It's been frenetic, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Cerruti trying to use his strength.
And it still is. Looking at that.
Manda.
Nick Dahl type of player who could do that.
Nice feet from Fiketi Manda, but Bailey Dickinson is sticking to him like glue. Too tight in the end. Free kick conceded. Niko Kresic. Michael Adams.
Another player who can control the game. Him and Nick Dahl in there. Who can control the game for sure.
Here's Driscoll. Looking to create a crossing opportunity. Doing well here, James Driscoll. Wins his team the corner. Jack Green positioned at the near post.
Very positive direct run from James Driscoll then. It's excellent.
And a corner kick for O'Connor. Vinny Sanchez comes across. Six in the area for the Knights. Sanchez towards that near post. Driscoll laid it down. Dahl hit it. It's come out for Manda. And it was blocked by Jack Green. He was heading to that bottom corner.
Yeah, it was. There was a couple of opportunities heading goal bound that were blocked.
And they'll go again. Vinny Sanchez. Another good delivery into the area. Good header away by Max Green. Defensively this time. Cerruti to clip it back in, and Driscoll didn't get the touch. And since the drinks break, the Knights have upped the ante.
Yeah, they have. They've been getting the ball into wide areas. Like I said, very positive run from James Driscoll driving forward.
Half an hour gone. Gungahlin lead thanks to that goal from Max Green. Champions lead the cup holders. As they have done in most of the Charity Shields. Charity Shield does throw up some strange results on occasions. Remember a game at GEO, which you were probably involved in, when Tigers were beaten 7-1 by Monero Panthers, and the Canberra Public got their first glimpse of Andre Carl. He got himself a hat-trick and continued to score on a regular basis after that.
Yeah, very good performance that day.
Max Green into the crowd. That was one of two hat-tricks that have been scored in the Charity Shield. The other was scored by Emilio Kishta for Canberra Croatia against Wagga City Wanderers, when we had the Premier League against the grand final winners against the
CPL winners,
CPL grand final winners,
yeah,
which was a bizarre
Deakin. Did
season.
It finish about 10-1
was
or
10-0.
something like 10-0, yeah.
It was a one-off that didn't work.
Never to be repeated again. The just gulf was too big, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I'm not sure why it happened, to be fair, because it always was the league champions against the cup winners, and then for one reason or another, that one season.
Wasn't the COVID year, was it, where they needed
it was
to
just a game they decided they were going to do it that year.
Right, okay.
Maybe they lost the sheet that told them who was what the rules were.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was then.
And this is now.
10-0 that game finished. Mila Kisha got 3, Daniel Baric 2, Nico Kalfas 2, 1 from penalty spot. Daniel Subasic, Jason Ugrinic got 2 as well. There was so many goals early on as well. And poor old Wagga hit a storm.
Well, it's a bit of a long way to go. 3.5 hour travel to get thumped 10-0, isn't it?
Rippon will stretch to keep it in. It is. It's a fair old trip.
For a pre-season walloping.
Didn't really do themselves justice. They're a better side than that, Wagga. But they did come up against a red-hot Canberra, Croatia.
I think Monero faced him in the Fed Cup in the same year.
Wagga?
Yeah.
There was a year where there was 3 years in a row, I think, when Wagga met
Monero
Panthers.
Yeah, there was. In the Cup, yeah.
Lukman Ahmed Shaibu had a field day against him in one season. I think he scored 6.
Yeah, midweek game.
But there was another season where Wagga led 1-0 for quite a long time until it ended up 3-1 to Monero.
That was probably the season I was involved.
No doubt. Connor Bill through the back of Augustine Bangira. Well, they kept getting closer and closer ever since, so. Jack Green with the free kick for Gunners.
Who've they got this time? West Canberra Wanderers next round, Monero?
They do at this venue. I would imagine. It's a West Canberra Wanderers home game, so I see no reason why they wouldn't change it. West Canberra Wanderers had some big cup days themselves here. A few years back, they beat Canberra Croatia in a round 4 match here by 3-2.
They were seconds away from winning it.
That was the year they got to the final, eh? And they had a glorious chance to go 2-0 up in that final. And the man who was denied was now playing centre forward for O'Connor Knights, Geno Chiruti.
Yep.
And then, of course, anyone with a Monero Panthers persuasion will remember the complete scramble that led to the equalising goal with virtually the last kick of the game.
From a Panthers corner that they never have any success with. So
Jordan Thurtell, it's adamant he was brought down for a penalty.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he's
was it Andre Carl who turned it in?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Jordan's hit it towards Andre Carl, and Andre Carl's put it into the goal and cue pandemonium. But it was actually a penalty. Jordan was brought down.
Be interested to see whether it would have been given had Andre Carl not scored.
Would have been
one of those sliding doors
decision.
Moments.
Yeah, it would have been a big decision.
Bruno Kell's not had too many big decisions to make so far this evening. He's given the Knights a fairly obvious free kick here, though, and Michael Adams has a chance to deliver something into the penalty area. Try and keep it away from Smith and Green would be my advice, because they are towering above everyone there. Adams goes shallower with the ball in. It's come off Gaspari. Lavella's kept it alive. Thompson's hooked it away. Connor Bill. Space for Driscoll. Junna. Deep ball. It's going to find Manda. Dickinson for company. Little exchange.
Yeah, he's offside.
And he left it behind as well. The Knights have grown into the contest, though. Since we had that artificial stop for the drinks, they've been the better side.
Game's definitely been played more in the Gungahlin half since the break.
Mumford sends out a mile. All the way through to Christian Nell, in fact. Connor Bill. Allowed him to come a long way here. Adams. Lavella. Kresic tried to turn. Punchy past that from Riley Brown. Second one wasn't quite accurate enough for Augustine Bangira. Scored 6 goals last season, Bangira. A bad return from a winger.
Another player had a very good season, exciting, can play either side, left or right. Gets 1v1 opportunities with his fullbacks often and can execute that very well.
Manda under pressure. And again, it's tenacious work from Bailey Dickinson. Appreciated by the Gungahlin faithful. Big season for Bailey Dickinson as well. He's only made 8 first-grade appearances in his career, 2 starts, 6 off the bench. I feel there is a spot there on the right-hand side of the Gungahlin defence that's open. They lost a full-back in Shandon Whitehead, of course.
What a season he had last year as well, by the way. Absolutely great as left-back.
Now plying his trade in Tigers colours. They found out their cup opponents midweek when Majura turned over Woden Valley 2-1 after extra time. They'll be heavy favourites to progress there, the Tigers, in the last 16 of the local qualifying competition. Smith, strong. Dahl equally so. Ditto Riley Brown. Bailey Dickinson is the meat in a triple O'Connor Knight sandwich. And he's going to get the free kick. Good refereeing that from Bruno Kell, isn't it? Because it's a free kick, nothing more.
Yeah, he lets it go for a little bit to see what the outcome was, and there was a few challenges flying in, but I mean, that's all part and parcel of the game, isn't it?
8 minutes to the break. Gungahlin still lead by that goal netted by Max Green prior to the 20-minute mark. Bangura arcing across goal here. He's gone down, but I think Driscoll had all ball.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's followed him across, James Driscoll, and won the ball. Gungahlin back on it, though.
Gaspari wriggles through, almost got the return from Max Green. It's pretty tight, so Michael Adams was all over him there. Michael Adams is asking for a card, I think, because he was trying to get away. Maybe he's asking for advantage when he got away.
Regardless of which, the referee's made the decision, and O'Connor are back on the ball, albeit deeper, and Gungahlin have managed to drop back into a defensive shape.
Cerruti has not had much change out of Julian Smith in this first half.
And Smith's happy to just drop in with him, isn't he? And, you know, striker drops deep, Smith's going with him because he knows that Jack Green's behind.
Miscontrol by Manda allowed Dickinson to go forward. Gaspari has won it back, and it's fallen for Bangura, who'd stayed on side there. Better touch than he might have been in. Thompson. Max Green looking to shift it on that right foot and fire it across goal. Max Green as a centre forward doesn't need a second invitation, does he? Gets a side of goal and lets the shot away.
And he looks ready as well, doesn't he? He's happy for the season to start now. He's firing on all cylinders. He looks lively, sharp, aggressive, decent with the ball.
Quite a lot of flashing lights in the background, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
on the highway.
I think there was an accident when the game started. There's a load of cars piled up over to our right.
Kresic has peeled off to the left. He's left it behind. It's hit him on the heels. Bailey Dickinson's won it back again. Well, I hope everyone's okay over there.
Didn't hear anything, did we?
No, we didn't. Mind you, can't hear anything in this. Normally people will be looking. Lavella, it's a good ball that to find Junna. Michael Adams. Away from Gaspari. Into the final five of the first half. Milo Trininic will no doubt be keen to have a word with his team. They've been much better since we've come back from the drinks. First 20 minutes was a little bit lackadaisical from their point of view.
It gave him opportunity just to gee his boys up, didn't it, a little bit, and raise their intensity of the game, and they seem to have done that in the last 20 minutes.
Junna's sent it in. Kresic will chase. Riley Brown got a toe there ahead of Cerruti. Max Green got there ahead of Connor Bill. And now sends Jaden Rippon foraging. Augustin Bangura's got loads of room if you can find him. Rippon's still going, and we might see a yellow card
He's
here.
going to pull a yellow card out because Bruno Kaz looked over to his left and he sees that there's a pass on to Bangura which could create a goal-scoring opportunity.
And Connor Bill is the man who's sanctioned. Bangura was in loads of room, wasn't he?
And I think that's why the yellow's come out, hasn't he? Stopped that pass into him.
Well, another chance for Josh Gaspari to maybe pick out a white-shirted teammate. 3 minutes to the interval. This would be a lovely time to get a second. Mind you, there's never a bad time. Bari over the free kick. Jack Green's coming in and got there, and it's wide. Well, the only surprise when he did get there was he didn't hit the target.
I thought that was going to go in the bottom right-hand corner, and whilst it didn't, the delivery was great, wasn't it?
Well, you just felt the net was going to bulge with Jack Green meeting that. But yeah, as you mentioned, Gaspari's ball in was beautiful. Another warning sign for the Knights, who are breaking here sharply. And Manda's got the pace to get in. Can he find the right ball? Cuts it back for Cerruti, who shanks it for Sanchez, and it's one apiece. Vinny Sanchez brings the Knights on terms. Lightning fast counter-attack, bit of fortune at the end. Sanchez, right place, right time.
And it was the initial through ball that created the chance, wasn't it? Just broke down the left-hand side. Gungahlin caught high, there was a massive gap. Delivery was decent. Truty didn't finish, but Sanchez coming up, back post, good finish.
Vinny Sanchez was not going to pass up that opportunity. Geno Cerruti might be telling you later that he picked him out, Ian.
Gets an assist for that.
Shanked his finish, but couldn't have shanked it any better. Straight into the path of his midfield colleague, who said, thank you very much. Not a chance for Aidan Mumford. And we're back on terms. Oh, that's wonderful from Bangira. Driscoll won't want to see that one back. And his ball in is good as well. Burns was there. Rippon was coming in from the far side. Well, that's a bit high, that. From Nikita Burns. Wants to be a bit careful. It's a yellow. Don't think there's much doubt about that one, Ian.
It was high and it was late, though, as well, wasn't it? The ball had well gone. Didn't
look pretty from our angle. Bruno Kell's seen it though and given the yellow card. You'd have to say, Ian, I think, well, you don't have to, but you might disagree. You can have a choice. It's nice of me to give you the choice. Since the drinks break, though, O'Connor have deserved that equaliser. They've been putting the pressure on. I mean, Jack Green had just had the chance to make it 2-0. But the Knights have been much, much better.
Knights have responded really well since the break. There was that other chance from Jack Green that went across Christian Nell.
Here goes Driscoll to fire it across and force a save from Mumford.
But just the intensity and speed of the game from O'Connor has picked up in the last 20 minutes or so.
Bodes well for the second half, this. Here's Rippon. Good stop that from Mumford. Wasn't sure what's going on behind him, so fisted it as far away from goal as he possibly could.
Yeah, it was the direction he pushed it as well as making the save that was impressive.
Jack Green looks for Julian Smith. Jack Green again. Clip ball towards Max Green. Well won by Christian Junner. Gaspari's header. Riley Brown. Nikita Burns swapped fullback positions here with Bailey Dickinson. That's interesting. Gaspari, Max Green. What do you make of that?
I don't know why they've done it. I think Dickinson can play both sides. And I know Nikita Burns played right back, didn't he?
I mean, stoppage time in the first half as well.
Yeah.
They have their reasons, of course. Can't be much left of this first half. Connor Bill, Niko Klesic. Runs into Jack Green. Michael Adams. Is there one flourish from the Knights at the end of this first 45 minutes? McDowell, they don't seem to be in any real hurry. Connor Bill. Driscoll. James Driscoll's ball. Sanchez, the goal scorer. That's a timely block because Cerruti had taken up a really good position. And they're going to end the half perhaps with a corner kick. There should be enough time for it.
Yeah, this is likely to be the last chance of the half.
Vinny Sanchez will take it. Plenty of runners in there. Burns met it at the near post, and that'll do, says Bruno Kell. That was the last action of the first half, and a very good first half. Ian Worthington on as even.
Yeah, very bright start from Gungahlin United. There was a little break. O'Connor Knights then have their chat, come into the game, been much smarter the last 20 minutes, and over that, apart from a couple of Max Green strikes towards goal, probably a fair result.
Max Green opened the scoring in the 18th minute, getting on the end of Jack Green's header to put his team 1-0 up. And 2 minutes before the break, a quick Knights transition. Pretty much their modus operandi. Fekete Mandafan, Jenna Taruti, his slice shot fell nicely for Vinny Sanchez, who rammed home the equaliser, which means at half-time here at Melrose Synthetic in the Men's Charity Shield, it's Gungahlin United 1, O'Connor Knights 1. Well, at half-time, it's one apiece in men's charity shield. Gungahlin United versus O'Connell Knights. Amos Gibbsy and Worthington's with us. We've just been spending the whole of half-time moaning about how our legs and feet are aching so much because we've been on our feet since, I don't know what time you were up today, but I was here about 7:35 or something like that.
8:30-ish.
Yeah.
Got to the first set of Tigers games this
My
morning.
feet are aching. Yours are too, aren't they?
Very much so.
Anyway, the football's been good. Looking around the teams, have we any changes? Don't think so. So let's get ready to go for another 45 minutes.
None from O'Connor. And I don't think there's one from Gungahlin either.
As you were. Question is, are we going to get this done in 90 or are we going to penalties? Mentioned in the first half, we've never had a penalty shootout in the Charity Shields, in the seniors. We've already talked about Ian's proclivity to not take penalties. You were last in the queue.
Yeah.
Julian Smith, happy to go back to Aidan Mumford. Pulled off a really good save towards the end of the first half from Driscoll's cross shots. Searching for Bangura. Meaty header that from Junna.
Darren Bailey was questioning my support of Jordan Thurtell's penalty or no penalty.
What do you mean questioning your support?
Well, saying like, you know, I can't really comment what he put in there. The comment.
He plays for Monero, doesn't he? We did at the time.
No, I think I was backing Jordan a bit too much, you know, liking him.
Well, he was on the same team. Surely he thought it was a penalty as well.
He was a Scotsman.
I tell you what, I've seen some penalties awarded in finals, and there was one awarded against Darren Bailey.
No, that wasn't a penalty. No, that was not a penalty, that.
The one where he hacked the bloke completely down in the box against Canberra Croatia.
The ball's still like... Darren's still travelling now, the way he set off with that penalty.
Cleaned him out completely and then spent a minute and a half portraying his innocence.
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty.
Nikita Burns from fullback to swinging into the middle. Max Green gets up again. He's got a good leap on him, Max Green. Just for the sake of rounding out the conversation as well, Darren Bailey did score a winner in a grand final also. A couple of yards out.
Couple of inches out.
Still went in.
He was on the line, wasn't he?
I think it was from a yard, I think I said it.
And he's never run so fast when he scored. His celebration, he ran one way, turned and ran the other. Pretty impressive, to be fair.
Kresic, you would as well if you'd scored that goal at that time.
Very true.
Cerruti on the turn, great hit! Oh, just wide of the post. Jenna Cerruti certainly caught hold of that. Had Aidan Mumford scrambling.
Good turn, good strike, wasn't it, with his left foot? Not far from the far post.
Big season this for Jenna Cerruti. He played 21 times for the Panthers last year, but only started 11 games. Scored 5 goals. There was a school of thought amongst quite a few people who watch the Premier League. He was a bit unlucky not to play more. He's made the move here to the Knights now, and it's by no means a given that he's going to start games with Isota Ahegi breathing down his neck on the touchline. Lukman Ahmed Shaibu just signing a contract for this club as well. Michael John, who's come across from Canberra Olympic, not to sit on the bench, I'd imagine too. Lots of pressure on those boys that are selected to do the job. Otherwise, someone else is champing at the bit to get it done instead of you.
And he's worked on his hold-up play. He's strong back to goal. He's a strong boy, isn't he? He scored some important goals during his Monero time.
Kresic. Got options out wide as well, haven't they, for Kedimanda? Nika Kresic. Plenty of pace there. Nika Perinovic will be knocking on the door as well, another forward. No Jackson Paisley this season, I'm told he's moved to Melbourne. So that'd be a miss for them. Another former Gungahlin United player.
Another one who had ankle problems though, didn't he? What with played well, wasn't in the team, played well, wasn't in the team. It's a bit of a difficult time for him. Hopefully he can get over that.
I understand that Tigers' new South Sudan international, William Akio, had his first run yesterday in a friendly against Tuggeranong United. Ended up 1-1 there. Christian Baresi equalising in stoppage time. That'll be a corner off of Connor Bill. Sam Walker had given Tuggeranong the lead.
Yeah, the direct ball caught Connor Bill out then, didn't it? Sort of kept up in the air with the wind and ended up flicking it out for a corner.
And presenting Josh Gaspari with the first chance of the second half to spark something for Gungahlin United. Julian Smith dwarfing those around him in the 6-yard box, including the goalkeeper, Christian Nell. Jack Green, top of the box, is another obvious target. Gaspari's gone short to Bangura. His first touch wasn't brilliant. Nikita Burns. Bit of height on that one. Over the head of Max Green. Julian Smith with Christian Junna. Jack Green created the Max Green goal with this kind of cross. A bit deeper this time. And helped away. Now there's room for Kresic. The Knights love a counter-attack. 3-on-4 at the moment, becoming 4-on-4 with the arrival of Vinny Sanchez. And that came off of Nick Dahl. Some half-hearted shouts for handball from those in front of us.
I just thought he got his body across pretty well and stopped that counter-attack. He just delayed, didn't he? And
missed opportunity, I think.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Jack Green. Allowed time to pick his pass for Thompson. Guiding it towards Bailey Dickinson. Christian Junna. Solid. Benches might prove a part, or have a part to play here. Sosohegi and Michael John, obvious changes for O'Connor. 172 games for Sosohegi, 71 goals. Michael John, 146.50 in MPL goals. Adams. Eli Darwich, the most experienced player on the bench for Gungahlin. He's played 89 MPL games. Other than that, Isaac Alves, a sub-goalie, 3. Dennis Io, none. Charlie Didario, 3. And Jacob Kite, 11. Same on the other bench, apart from the two I mentioned. Marcus Smith yet to make a debut. Kobe Yari, 3 games. Samuel Palic, 1. So it's a mix of the old and the new. Christian Junna fouls Bangura. Free kick to Gungahlin United.
Yeah, he's just got too tight on him, and Bangura's just stood still, and he's gone into the back of him. It's a foul.
Ball's gone through, and Max Green might get there. Well,
again, he's sharp, isn't he, Max Green? He's just picking pockets.
Well, there was nothing on there at all, and he almost made something just by his darting run in behind. He really is a handful. There will be other clubs looking at Max Green. The window's not shut yet for clubs to improve themselves. I'm sure Gungahlin will fight tooth and nail to keep him here.
He's one of the top strikers in the competition, without doubt. And whoever he does sign for eventually, he's going to score a lot of goals for them this year.
I mean, Gungahlin are in the bucket seat because he's playing for them.
And Gungahlin was the club where he played for before going up to Sydney, wasn't it? So
Bangura. Manda. Combination of Bangura and Dickinson. Rob for Keddy Manda. Here's Max Green. Dahl stretched on one of those long limbs. Adams still has it somehow. And finds Chiruti. Jack Green just too strong. Bangira from Dickinson. Novella happy to go home to Christian Nell. Riley Brown. Green. Max Green, that is. Came deep. Showed an awful lot of that to Junner. Too much of it in the end. And here can go Christian Junner. Manda. Adams. Looking for something. Found Junner. Adams again. Manda. And that will be a free kick.
Just starting to display a little bit of his magic, isn't he? Now just won a free kick and just starting to dictate the game a little bit is Michael Adams.
This is the third time Gungahlin have played in the Charity Shield. They lost both times before, 4-1 to Canberra FC in 2016. Same again to Canberra FC, 2-1 this time in 2019. Maybe third time's the charm for them. Bit of defensive work to do in the first instance here. Michael Adams over the top of it. Flatter ball in, not a good one. Met by Burns. Bangura. Now the break might be on with Thompson. Couldn't quite get it wide. Green's going to get there though. And Connor Bill stops it getting through to Jaden Rippon. Chiruti. Lavella. Junner. Dahl. Adams. And again.
Yeah, Adams just been on the front foot a bit more in the last, 10 minutes, second half. He's not on any foot at the moment, he's sat on his backside.
I think he got trod on that front foot that you were talking about as he stretched in to stab that one away. Bit of a sore one for Michael Adams. "12 minutes of the second half gone. Lavella got in ahead of Max Green. Nick Dahl. No real chances of note this half, has there? From what I can recall.
No, not yet.
Might be now. Rippon. Max Green. Look at the space for Bangura. Didn't find him, Max Green. Wanted to go alone. Might not have been the best decision on that occasion. Augustin Bangura snuck in on the far post. Manda. Pushing it back by Bailey Dickinson. What did you make of that with Max Green?
Well, it's just getting a bit tasty, isn't it, with Dickinson.
Well, that's a needless yellow card, really, for Bailey Dickinson. The third yellow card we've seen.
You've got to pick your battles. You don't want to get a yellow card for something like that. He had a little bit of a go with Junior about 5 minutes ago. And again, then you don't want to get a yellow card for something silly.
We just did. Christian Junner to take this free kick. I wonder if we can convert this platform into some sort of couch, mate. As Junner sends that in. Jack Green away.
I think there's got to be a way that we can just sit down and commentate rather than, stand up and commentate.
A big couch.
Yeah.
This high, fluffy.
Sink into it. We'd nod off, wouldn't we?
Just to be honest, it's been a long day. Not real much not really much movement from the bench. Everybody's up doing their usual stretches. Doesn't seem to be any indication of any subs at the moment. Riley Brown, tenacious, but it's going to break, and there's now room for Michael Adams to advance. Kresic to the left. He can go a long way here, Adams. Rather put Manda on the back foot with his pass. Juna's joined in on the overlap. Vinny Sanchez will do well to keep that in. He did, and Burns charged it down. Just signs that the game might be becoming a little bit stretched. Manda. Dahl. Juna. Chiruti. Dahl again. All a bit crowded. Driscoll swings it in towards Adams. Jack Green won it.
Could certainly go either way, the contest still, couldn't it?
Reminder, there's no extra time. It would go straight to a penalty shootout to see who would win the Shield. Does feel like there might be more goals in this before then, though, so the winner is certainly not out of the question. Adams. Bill. Driscoll. Nowhere to go for James Driscoll, and a free kick conceded. Half an hour to play.
Two O'Connor Knights players just going through a more vigorous warm-up over the far side. You wonder how long it's going to be until we see the likes of Sosa Ahegi.
And Michael John out there with him. They look the two most likely because they're the only two warming up. Except for Young Smith, the goalkeeper, going through a precautionary stretch. Strength from Chiruti against Smith. Manda always gone out of play, which is disappointing for Fikedi Manda. He was just getting up ahead of steam. Speaking of head of steam, the flags are being battered by a wind that's been picking up. You can see the trees in the background. A hefty breeze at the moment.
Yep, wind has certainly picked up.
Crowd's still very good here.
Seems to have got more in as the game's gone on.
Thompson over the head of Bangura. Max Green helps it on its way. Jaden Rippon closed down quickly by Driscoll. Can he still manufacture an opening? He can. Good looking ball towards Thompson. Just too far. Bangura. Dickinson has it back. Brown. Dickinson. Still going, Bailey Dickinson. And just eased off it. And then a little bit of unnecessary. You've got to be careful, Bailey Dickinson.
Well, again, when he's already got on a yellow for something that was, you know, a little bit silly.
I mean, granted he has a point to prove. There's ways to doing it.
He's no good proving can't prove a point when he's got a red card to his name, though, can he?
It's very difficult to do that when you're suspended, isn't it? Lavella. Juna. Kresic. Adams. Worked it nicely via Driscoll to Manda. On the front foot. Still going for Keddy Manda. Well covered Nikita Burns. Well, Vinny Sanchez over this set piece. Six in the area, becoming 7 That's into that box. Might come for Lavella. Jack Green on his haunches at the moment, in the middle. Driscoll. Still struggling a bit there, Jack Green. Still bent over. I think he's thinking about going down. Isn't he? He is going to go down.
I couldn't say what he's done though.
I think he's winded.
Caught in the. I thought I was going to say, is it around his ribs? Yeah.
I think so. Don't see much on it. He was running very hunched. Reminder for football coming up for you. MPL starts on the 30th of March, Sunday, March 30. Gungahlin versus Tigers FC from Solomad Stadium. Standalone game in that round. And then starts properly the week later on Friday evening. Panthers versus Tigers from Riverside Stadium, now Strider Park, as it's now known. Saturday afternoon sees O'Connor Knights versus Canberra, Croatia, the Chevapi derby to start the season at O'Connor enclosed. Sunday, the league champions Gungahlin United, they travel to Canberra too. Resurgent Tuggeranong United wait for them. Meanwhile, over at High Street, it's time for Queanbeyan City to sample the MPL life. They will welcome Gungahlin to High Street 3 o'clock on the Sunday. That's your men's MPL round 1 fixtures. Some exciting stuff to look forward to there.
Yeah, there is. There's going to be some more cracking games this season.
Should you be interested in the MPLW, and why wouldn't you be? Great competition. Friday night, Gungahlin United versus Canberra, Croatia. Gungahlin enclosed starts life for the women's competition. And of course, Saturday afternoon, small matter of Belconnen United versus Canberra Olympic. And given what we've seen already today, that's a big fixture for both those teams. And the round ends on the Sunday. Madura, their very first National Premier League women's game, is against ANU at Ainsley. Meanwhile, right here, should you be so inclined, West Canberra Wanderers versus Tuggeranong United. And there's a little bit of inter-capital football rivalry on there. Abigail Moss, who works there now, West Canberra Wanderers player, and Jotika Singh, Tuggeranong United player. So I'm sure, depending on which way that result goes, office conversations on the Monday might be interesting.
Office bragging rights.
Up for grabs. And important points up for grabs too. Also that weekend it's CPL action, and there's so much to look forward to in the CPL this year. Canberra Olympic desperate to get back up. They've recruited heavily. Keep an eye out for their new French superstar. They tell me he's something special. We'll keep an eye on him. Belconnen United, of course, as well. Well, they've been banging on the door for a couple of years. They want back in the top tier, and they've recruited heavily to do so as well. Brindabella Blues, they made the top 4 last year. They made the grand final. Can they, under Ray Junner, put the pressure on at the top? And then, of course, there's the rest of the pack that really want a piece of the action. Should be a great competition. Will they find a way? Will one of these teams find a way to win it? How long have they got to do, Ian? Want to have a guess? Exactly half a half.
Well, they've just come back from the drinks break, so you would hope so. Momentum swung a little bit in O'Connor's favour after the last drinks break, so we'll see what happens this time.
If it swings back in O'Connor's favour again, I think we're going to need to find out what's in those water bottles. Whatever Powerade or Gatorade or whatever they're taking.
You wouldn't let me talk about Lucozade before, now you're firing off brands.
Well, Lucozade isn't a thingy.
What do you mean?
It's not a thingy. It's not an official sponsor of you.
Thingy.
Can't even think what I'm saying.
Who knows?
Ada Mumford. Well, it's not one of them.
It covers a lot of things, doesn't it, really? A thingy.
Yeah.
It could be anything, really.
Yeah. Here's the first change as well. I think it's coming up very shortly, because on the far side, Gungahlin, I've got 2 with their manager going through tactics. Might see some changes. Meanwhile, Isosra Hegi has joined us here as a right-sided midfield player in the drinks break.
He was sat in at right back a minute ago. When
I'm just seeing who he's replaced. Is it James Driscoll? I think he has gone in. No, Driscoll's gone to left
Driscoll's
back.
left back over there.
So is it Christian Junner's gone to centre back? James Lavella's still there. Connor Bill's still there. Vinny Sanchez. Who's gone off? Is it Nico Kresic? I think it must be. Come back to that in a second. Gaspari. And again, Rippon. So in that drinks break, Isosra Hegi has replaced Nico Kresic on this right side. Not his usual position.
No, it isn't. And they've kept
Chiruti down
the centre, yeah.
Adams has seen something here. And he's come together with his fellow skipper and he's won a corner. So the first team to make a change is the Knights. Don't you love it when they change things at the drinks break or half time?
Well, we were laughing about Thingy, so I mean the sponsorship, so we didn't really notice. But then we saw a Hegi at right back, which looks ever so strange.
Oh, they've been done here. I think he's taken the corner outside of the quadrant. So is that a retake? Must be. Vinny Sanchez. Short one wasn't going to work for them anyway, I don't think, but they've got a second bite of it here and a good ball in. And it's going to come for Driscoll. Always rising. So yeah, Isosra Hegi in at right back, and I think Gungahlin are going to more conventionally change their players. Whilst we look at it, Nikita Burns is coming off on that far side. Had a good game, Nikita Burns.
Fairly solid, wasn't he?
He was on a yellow card for that high challenge in the first half.
Bailey Dickinson back over to right back.
And Jacob Kite on this near side. Junner too strong for Bangura. Chiruti out of play, unfortunately, for Jenna Chiruti. Another exceptionally tall player, Jacob Kites. Played 11 NPL games in his career. Another that's knocking on the door of regular first-team football. Only played twice last year. One start, once off the bench. Manda was away from Jack Green far too easily. What's his options? Hegi's one of them. He's got a bit of spark in him, Isosra Hegi, just like that. And it's turned in by Driscoll. Hegi created it, and James Driscoll will not give an easier goal. Stabbed it on the goal line, and the Knights, who were behind, are now in front.
A little bit of magic in the high area of the pitch from Isosra Hegi. Little double scissors, step overs, and drives it across. Maybe goalkeeper could have done a little bit better, but James Driscoll just started his run so far back, and he just kept going and going and going, and he ended up stabbing it home from about a yard.
It squeezed its way past Aidan Mumford, and James Driscoll could not believe his luck. You gamble, you get your reward, and he lamped it home. He was happy with that, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was delighted. It's a reward for just, having that huge run, and it paid off in the end, didn't it?
I mentioned in the first half, the team that scores first always wins the Charity Shield. Well, not at the moment, they're not. The teams that scored first is trailing.
Goal for O'Connor Knights, scored by number 18, James Driscoll.
James Driscoll,
1, O'Connor Knights 2.
when he scored one goal last season, only got 5 in 73 appearances, which is not a lot. Jaden Rippon's gone off. According to my sheet, Illy Darwich has come on. Is that Illy Darwich, 20?
Tell you what, he's a long way away from here. Could be Illy Darwich, yeah.
That's what he is on the sheet, unless they've swapped shirts. So it didn't look like Illy Darwich. Michael John is coming on for Geno Cerruti. He's worked hard as well. Incredibly hard.
So, be interesting what message comes here, whether Michael John plays on the left or straight swap with Geno Cerruti, which, of course, Asosa Ohegi can play straight through the middle.
And James Driscoll, whose goal separates the sides. Here he is again. Kite. Juna wants the return and gets it. Smith got in the way, helped out by Brown.
Just a bit of a heavy touch from Gaspari, unlike him.
James Lavella.
Got two players against him. He's done very well, James Lavella.
Got out of it, didn't he?
Great touch. Great touch from Christian Juna.
And there's a foul there, and there's a yellow card coming out for someone. Jacob Kite, I believe that is, the substitute. Becomes the third Gungahlin player to see yellow. Into the final quarter of an hour. Connor Bill. Perseverance though from a fullback in to get that far forward and find the finish, but great work from Asosa Ohegi.
Well, Asosa Ohegi's got the ball, he's squared his fullback up against him, and he's a little trick and gone round him, but then you've got to deliver a decent ball into the box, and like you said, James Driscoll wouldn't believe his luck because he just set off for that run and kept going and going, found himself in the box and just tapped it home. So you've got to commend James Driscoll for his work ethic to actually go and get in the box in the first place.
Good flick by Max Green. How's the crowd? James Lavella's just smashed it into the crowd. He's going to go on the highway, isn't he? Or the...
Well, it's not far off. It's gone onto that grassy area behind the fence, hasn't it?
The grassy knoll. Driscoll forwards.
Lucky he didn't take somebody out on that far side, but you know.
Heggie's after this, and he's got there again. Couldn't quite find Manda. I think the number 20 shirt might be being worn by Charlie Daddario. We were told that 20 was going to be Illy Darwich. It's definitely not him. Aidan Mumford finds Gaspari. Chase 4, we believe, Daddario.
There's another one gone.
Could run out of match balls soon. Gungahlin running out of time. I reckon they've changed shirt numbers there on us. What do you reckon?
It doesn't look like Illy Darwich from 60 yards away.
No. It's Charlie Daddario on that far side for sure. Michael John does well just to calm things down. Christian Junner. Just under or over 10 minutes to play. The Knights won the Charity Shield last year. They're seeking to go back to back. The two teams have gone back to back before. Canberra FC 2019 and 2021 with COVID in between, and Olympic 2017-2018. It's not a common occurrence because to get here you have to win something the season before, of course.
The ball didn't go out. They hit the corner flag, and O'Connor have ended up getting a corner out of that.
Bit of luck, perhaps, for the O'Connor Knights. Can they make it count? Vinny Sanchez with the set piece. Into that near post area for Katie Manda. Recovers for Connor Bill. Christian Junner. Nick Dahl. Michael John trying to turn away. Bailey Dickinson again.
Yeah.
And he might be in trouble here, you know.
He doesn't like that tackle, Bruno Kell.
He's already cautioned Bailey Dickinson. Might be because of the nature of the game. He might get away with this, but I think if that's a league game, Ian, that's a card.
Both feet haven't left the ground. It's not a red, but he is already on a yellow, isn't he? And I think if this was, like you say, I think that's a second yellow, and Jack Green's just going over for a chat with the referee. He's been summoned to say, basically, this is your last chance.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's good refereeing for Bruno Kell. We don't really want to see people sent off. But I think if that's an NPL match, he's probably getting a second yellow for that,
well,
just for the reckless nature of the challenge.
That's right. He was out of control.
As is, we stay with the full complements. Vinny Sanchez might want to make them pay in the best possible way for the Knights. Wants to find them a third. Into the penalty area. Jack Green won it. Manda did likewise, and Jack Green got it away. It's no surprise for those of you that follow the game on social media. You would have known that O'Connor Knights started training in the week of last year's grand final, Ian. And they do look the fitter side here, don't they? They finished very strongly indeed.
They do at the moment, and they do at the start of the season. Whether they do come the end of the season, then we'll see whether they'll peak too soon, but they certainly look ready for the start of the season for sure.
After falling behind, they've dug deep here and put on a performance. And they've got themselves the lead. But there's still plenty of spark in this Gungahlin United side. 7 minutes to find an equaliser and perhaps send it to penalties. Manda. Outside of the football. Looking for Michael John, came off the head of Smith. Dickinson. Sanchez was there. Another change for Gungahlin United. It's the end of the day for Sam Thompson. The first glimpse of Dennis Io. Gungahlin United under 23 player. Slotted into the right hand side of that front three. Another who's not made a first grade appearance in the MPL, but judging by the fact he's included today, must mean he's knocking on the door, Ian.
We'll soon see. He's on the ball now.
Here is Io, wanting to take on Driscoll. And he's done him with a pace. That's a good ball in as well. How's that for an introduction? No one in the white shirt to turn it in, but Dennis Io, excellent work. And Jack Green's missed it. A Heggie, well, it came off an arm. He's rolled it in for Michael Adams. The Knights seek a third, and Mander's left it. And a Heggie to get the shot away, and they took forever to work that out.
They overpassed in the inside the 18-yard box for sure. Thought Michael Adams was going to bend that in the bottom corner, and he's passed again.
Adams tried to walk it in. Has it back for Amanda, flags up though. Offside. Less than 5 minutes between the Knights and a recapture of the Charity Shield. Miro Trinich has increased his squad size this year, Ian. Last year, after the round of 32, they kind of fell away a bit. Maybe they ran out of gas, and maybe thinking the more legs this year, the better it will be for a push on all fronts.
Yeah, and all fronts is right, is it? That's what we're gonna say. The being in the cup and the league.
Max Green looking to send it in. Junna got rid of it. I think it hit Driscoll on the way out. Gungahlin aren't done here yet, though.
It's been a good response from them.
Can they fashion an opening? Gaspari. Riley Brown will pluck it down out of the darkening evening sky. Bailey Dickinson on the forward burst and delivering it in, but it came off the side of his foot. Will be a goal kick. And he did have two to aim for there in the middle. Daddario and Max Green have both made runs into the 6-yard box.
Yeah, the delivery just wasn't the best, was it? It's gone out the near post.
Nell sends it an absolute mile. It's a big kick, that.
When he cleared the ball just before he took the full length of the field.
Has got a kick and a half. From one boot and one clearance, they're halfway inside Gungahlin territory again. Driscoll. Sanchez. Fakedi Manor wanted it inside. Michael Adams had made the run on the left. Io, nowhere to go. Dickinson again with the challenge. Riley Brown in. Junna invites a Heggie to come. Mumford did really well.
Yeah, he's coming all that way. He's got to deal with it, and he did. And they're on the break here.
Bangura to slide it through. It's Dennis Io, and he's put it wide. He was offside anyway. The flag had gone up.
He's had an impact, though, hasn't he, Dennis Io, since coming off the bench?
He will be relieved the flag was up, though. That was his moment with 2 minutes to play. Time against Gungahlin. Nell plays keep ball with Aidan Mumford. It's come off Dahl.
He's done his own player there.
Yeah, must have. Daddario. Adams pulled back by Charlie Daddario. Free kick to O'Connor Knights.
Yeah, and the more that Adams has crept into the game, the better O'Connor Knights have been, not surprisingly.
60 seconds plus stoppage time for Gungahlin to get the ball, score a goal and force penalties. First part is getting the ball. Ehegi. Never easy, is it? Against an O'Connor Knights side. Manda wins the throw. A lot can change in a few weeks before the start of the season.
Well, absolutely. Both teams are still in the preparation phase for the league start.
Bangira is hauled down there. That'll be a free kick, and that might give Gungahlin a chance. Aidan Mumford's got it under his arm. By the time he takes this, we'll probably be into stoppage time. The white shirts flood forward. Mumford and Ehegi having a little push and shove. I suppose Ehegi's nowhere near 10, but I don't think Aidan Mumford needs to take it into his own hands. Ehegi gets a yellow for not retreating. And Mumford probably getting the same message that we just said. Don't take it into your own hands. I've got this. Aidan Mumford to launch it. A whole pile of players to hit. Smith's one of them. Jack Green's one of them. Max Green's in between the pair. Everyone in a night shirt.
Change here for O'Connor.
Is behind the ball. Vinny Sanchez is going off. Kobe Yari is coming on for the final reckoning. And his job will be to get in the penalty area and help clear it. Because Aidan Mumford is not going short with this ball. I lied. Gives it to Riley Brown.
Yes, he has.
Who has clipped it in towards Max Green, who's got the touch. A swing and a miss by Bangira. And now Kobe Yari might be able to prod it forward. For Kenny Manda will sprint after it. And that was a bit of a waste, I think, from Gungahlin.
Yeah, he's under-hit his ball.
Majorly surprised that Aidan Mumford did not put that in the penalty area. Bailey Dickinson. Augustin Bangira wants another free kick and he's probably going to get one as well this time.
It's got to go in now. It's right in front of the...
Well, it's not, because Dickinson's gone short again. Brown's gone back to Mumford. He's now tried to send it in towards Julian Smith, who's got the touch. Driscoll, only as far as Gaspari, who's lifted it towards the edge of the box. Jacob Kite went down. Lavella, we played almost 2 minutes of stoppage time. Here goes Isosa Ehegi. Yari with him. Here is Kobe Yari. Ehegi tried a little trick.
Not sure what James Lavella's doing so high up here, because he's left a massive gap in that back line,
which Jacob Kite is looking to exploit. And Nick Dahl got the challenge in. It will be a corner. Aidan Mumford's going to go up for it. The goalkeeper is going to get there before 3 of his players. Jack Green is going to go. They've gone short again. Gaspari to send it in. It might break in the area. The spin's over. Mumford! He scores!
He's been triggered offside.
But he's offside! Aidan Mumford's equaliser is cancelled out by an offside flag. Would you believe it? There's a chat between the two coaches, the referee and the assistant. It's going to be disallowed for offside, I think. But Aidan Mumford had his moment stolen away.
He did indeed. Fox in the box. He pounced. He put the ball in the net, but unfortunately, it seems he was offside.
Difficult to see from our angle, of course. Well, the goalkeeper has his goal disallowed for offside. Be interesting to see the replay.
Always be good to have a look at.
What a moment that would have been. Nell sends it forward. Jack Green wins it. Junna, big leap. Riley Brown Driscoll anywhere will do for him, away from his goal. Yari and Brown. Almost played 4 minutes of time added on here. Aidan Mumford to launch it. Jacob Kite.
Yeah, well done for Christian Jr.
And then he sent it a mile away. And that's where O'Connor want the ball. All the way out for a goal kick. Glance at the watch from Bruno Kell. How about Josh Isa? Proper sport. Goalkeeper goal to equalise in the Charity Shield.
You've got to let them go, haven't you?
You have to. Surely.
Got to get the odd one wrong, Josh.
And we'd have had a penalty shootout off the back of a goal scorer, a goalkeeping goal. Mumford goes long.
You know what happens next, don't you? Mumford keeps them out and Gungahlin win.
That's exactly it. The storyline was written, but it was written for O'Connor Knights today. They become the first team ever to fall behind in the Charity Shield and win it. And Ian, their second half performance was thoroughly deserved.
Well, they came into the game about 25 minutes in after a slow start, and then your top players in the team started ticking. And congratulations, O'Connor Knights.
Thanks for joining me today. I'm sure we'll see a fair bit of each other throughout the upcoming season. Max Green, on his return to Gungahlin United, gave the Gunners the lead. O'Connor levelled just before half-time through Vincent Sanchez. Then they won it with 18 minutes to play. Substitute Isosa Ahegi forcing his way through, the ball squeezing under Mumford, and there was James Driscoll to ram it home on the goal line. Unfortunately, Aidan Mumford's stoppage time equaliser as the goalkeeper went up to rescue the situation was ruled out for offside, and that means O'Connor Knights go back-to-back in the Charity Shield. It finished Gungahlin United 1, O'Connor Knights 2.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance at this afternoon's fixture. Terrific game it was, and I'd like to introduce you to James White, who is the head of football presentation in Capital Football. And first of all, we'd like to recognise the terrific work of the referees today. So could I acknowledge our match officials who were referee Bruno Kale, assistant referee 1 Joshua Isa, and assistant referee 2 Harrison Cracknell. Show your appreciation for our match officials for the great job they've done today, not just these three but the others all day. It's great. On to the 2025 Men's Charity Shield, which was a great start to the season, which will begin in a couple of weeks. Okay, I'd like to welcome the captain of the runners-up to say a few words. And
thank you everybody for coming out and supporting this great day. Thank you, O'Connor Knights. You guys always perform at a top level, so I wish you guys all the best for the season.